Just make sure you do it where I can smell it.
Yeah, all right. I'll be back in a minute.
Hey, Jerry,
Yeah?
be careful. Those things will kill you.
Yeah.
What the?
Holy shit! Hey everyone, Jarek here. I'm a dragon on the internet, and last week I covered Alien vs. Predator 2. It's a Monolith classic. Rest in peace, Monolith. But there was an expansion for that game, made by a studio that is not Monolith, that was critically panned. The studio that made this expansion is Third Law Interactive. They've only made 2 other games. Elite Forces World War II Normandy, which got critically panned 4 out of 10, and another game named Kiss Psycho Circus. Yeah, a game off the band Kiss. This one also got critically panned. We're not off to a good start already. I wonder how they were picked to make this expansion. Regardless, they made Primal Hunt, so this is what we have to put up with. Installing it is at least easy to install. Same thing as Alien vs. Predator 2. Same great fans, although they probably shouldn't have even bothered with this one. Just this website. Click download, install it, install the master server patch, which gives you widescreen support and fixes the mouse issues, and there you go, ready to play. Playing these campaigns in order, we start with what is arguably the best one, Corporate. In the Corporate campaign, you play as Dunya. She was a pretty important character in the base game, being the one that knocks out the main playable character, setting off that plot point in motion. Basically, you're playing as the bad guys, which is an awesome concept. It's very reminiscent to Opposing Force in Blue Shift, and that might have been where they got the idea from. Anyway, you're playing on the side of the Weyland-Yutani goons, which can't say I've seen that in any other game. The plot takes place before the events of Alien vs. Predator 2. You are tasked to go pick up the artifact. I noticed something awesome before I even took 5 steps. Alright, what guns do I got? Shotgun, pistol... Wait. Dual wielding? Oh shit, we couldn't do that in the base game. That's new. These Mark 23s remind me a lot of the Mark 23s in Killing Floor 1. In fact, that might have been where Killing Floor 1 got the idea from. I mean, obviously Mark 23s are real pistols and real guns. That's not what I mean. I mean, the feeling of them is really similar. Even the animations are somewhat similar. Maybe I'm looking way too far into this. It's probably just a product of its time. My point being, these pistols feel really good. You can mostly thank Monolith for this, but the reloading animations added that didn't exist in the base game are pretty good. That said, as satisfying as these pistols are, you're still probably not going to use them very much because you have much better options, and because this game chucks aliens at you like crazy right away. Yeah, so you remember at the beginning of Alien vs. Predator 2, how they dialed up the horror vibe and atmosphere? Well, they kind of just forego that entirely for straight up action. And you know what? I'm fine with this. I've seen people complain about this, but we just played the base campaign. You might as well get to the point. Yeah, I expected the worst, but honestly, this is pretty fun. You are being hunted relentlessly by aliens. That is what they would do. It is also a bit more difficult. Ammo isn't exactly scarce, but ammo and armor is a little more scarce in the base game. Never enough to be that difficult. It actually felt like a nice challenge, at least on normal difficulty anyway. Once you do finally reach this artifact, xenomorphs seem oddly repelled from it. Just more reason that they want to grab it. Once you shut down the force field suspending this artifact, the whole building starts crumbling down. This means you can't go out the way you came, and have to find another way back to the surface. This leads to, you guessed it, more running from xenomorphs. The door, no, it's a 90s game, I forgot. I'm fine with this. Monolith made some great gunplay, and this is pretty fun. But once you do make it to the surface, there's something we didn't see in the base campaign. Ugh, time to reload everything. What the heck is that? Okay. It's like Godzilla crocodile. I'm genuinely curious. Are these creatures things that already existed in the Alien universe or the Predator universe? or are they entirely new just for this expansion? Because that's a lot of effort being put into a throwaway expansion. I actually love this.
What the heck? Okay.
These worms can be kind of annoying, but like, they're interesting. In fact, this whole area where you're about to fall off cliffs as you run away from aliens is, again, pretty fun. Eventually you reach your extraction point, you take the artifact back to base, and there's not even a moment you can relax. This time, by the Predator stealing the artifact. There's also aliens all over the place now. You know, that's happening. This whole section here is just repelling aliens. That's basically it. But again, up until this point, it's actually been surprisingly good. I expected it to be much worse than this, until you get to this holdout section here. This is a defense section where you use the most inaccurate turret of all time, way more aliens than there ever should be, and a few placeable turrets that are also useless. Remember how I said this campaign is more of a challenge than the base game, but nothing too hard? In fact, pretty fun. I think about the right challenge for a normal difficulty. Yeah, well, chuck that all out the window. This is fucking impossible. You can't shoot the aliens until they get up close because the turret will straight up miss if you don't wait, and you have limited ammo, so you're just wasting ammo. Yeah, defense section with endless aliens and you have limited ammo. That's smart. But that also means you have to wait for the thing that has acid for blood to get up close to you. Oh, and there's no health or armor pickups before this fight starts. Get fucked. Yeah, this is where I said screw this and just turned on God mode. I wasn't going to deal with this anymore. In the end, they just give up on the artifact, let the Predator have it, and blow up that sector of the facility. And then it just abruptly ends. That's just the corporate campaign.
We must cut our losses before the aliens find a way to spread to the other pods.
And what of the creature I saw?
It would seem that it found what it was looking for.
What about those remaining in the pod?
They are already dead. Sever the pod, General.
Oh, that was okay.
What a shit ending. The rest of it was decent, and then that popped up and it just ended. Totally soured my mood on the whole campaign. Also, the Predator played no aspect to this campaign at all. He might as well not even be there. Well, hopefully, the Predator campaign will end better. The Predator campaign in the base game was my least favorite out of the three. In fact, I thought it was straight up bad. So there's a lot of improvement they could have done. There was some improvement. You get a lot more weapons from the get-go, including a new one called an energy flechette. So you at least start with a ranged gun that will have infinite ammo because it just uses energy. Unfortunately, this thing is so weak that it's pretty much useless. You have no reason to use it, especially since you start with the other gun, which, yes, you have splash damage, but this game gives you more range than the base campaign, so it's more usable. You also spend most of this campaign not fighting humans, making it less annoying in general. Fighting a synth really sucks because they're rather tanky and will see you no matter what. Fighting aliens can be kind of boring because you can just one-shot them and not think much of them. Not really great either way, but I think I would prefer less annoying. The reason you're not fighting humans as much is because this campaign starts 500 years before the events of Alien vs. Predator 2. You're here to set back up this artifact and turn on the stasis field for the alien eggs. Unfortunately for you, facehuggers don't discriminate, and he gets jumped, which then makes this next part really confusing. It's established really well in the movies that if you have a host, the aliens won't attack you.
Okay, yeah, so you do have a facehugger. Well, you did. You know what I mean. Oh, what the heck? I didn't have my hands on my keyboard and mouse because I figured it would be fine. But no. What kind of unfair nonsense is this?
Why the hell did I just get triple teamed? Also, why the hell are you throwing this at me right out of a cutscene? Imagine if I happened to not have any health here. This game loves to do nonsense like this, just chuck you straight into a fight with no warning. If there is genuinely no way to avoid taking damage, that's a bullshit fight. But wait a minute, there are humans here. That means you were put into stasis for 500 years. Either way, you're now against the clock. There is a xenomorph gestating inside you. It's going to pop out. Your goal here is simple. Go grab the artifact and warn your kind. This part where you're walking through the base is kind of boring, to be honest. It's the same stuff you already did in the base campaign, but now you're doing it again. It might just be me, but the aliens feel stupider than the base game. If they're on the other side of a wall, especially above or below you, they just can't get to you. Combine that with a few synth fights and, well, nothing really amazing in this campaign. You eventually do get the word out to your kind, and then a chest burster pops out, and the campaign ends. I'll be honest, I found this campaign to be a lot less annoying than the Predator campaign in the base game, but I didn't find it to be enthralling or good. Also, I have some questions. 500 years has passed, right? Then how in the world does this Predator know he can actually contact his kind? How can he still contact his kind? Are you telling me their technology hasn't advanced at all in 500 years? Nothing has changed? The same way to contact them? 500 years later? Sure, okay, whatever. But this now leaves us with what I think is by far the worst campaign. One that is no fun in any way. One that is so obnoxious that I cheated multiple times through just to beat this damn thing and get it out of the way. The Predalien Campaign. Wait, you play as a Predalien? That sounds awesome. What could be wrong about this? Well, everything. For starters, I wanted to know what was different. Well, here's what's different. You have a different headbite animation. That's it. Okay, that's not entirely accurate. You do have a bit more health and do a little more damage, but yeah, this plays just like the alien in the base game. You figure they would have had something different, anything. Playing as a Predalien should be awesome. It should just be a power fantasy. More powerful than the Xenomorph, which is already powerful. It already was a power fantasy. How did you fuck this up? Well, it starts the same way the base game does, where you're playing as a facehugger, which already seems entirely unnecessary, because we know who's going to get jumped by the facehugger. To make things even worse, you know how I'm always saying that I don't like stealth, but also said that the stealth in the base game was pretty good? Yeah, none of that applies here. This stealth is awful. So in the base game, you were running away from humans. If you had to stealth something, that's not a big deal. They can miss their shots, or you could take 1 or 2 bullets before you died. Hide the shadows, run away. You should be fine. Basically, if you were caught, you didn't instantly fail, which is a good thing. That's how you should do stealth. Yeah, well, in the expansion, you were trying to stealth by predators, which does not work. This basically is an instant fail, because their gun tracks you and kills you instantly. There's no way to dodge a shot, there's no way to get away, you just die. After a while, I said, fuck this, turned on God mode, and just walked through them and stopped caring. I personally do not like stealth very much, especially when it's done horribly in an FPS game, which happens way too often. All of this is totally pointless anyway, because again, you already know who is being jumped. The Predator you were playing as in the previous campaign. On top of this, he gets jumped in a minefield of eggs. Those are one of the facehuggers that would be jumping on him, not a facehugger that tracked him down across the entire facility. That makes no sense. It feels like this was put in here just to pad out time, which is most likely the case because this is the shortest campaign out of the 3. You can beat it in 30 minutes. At least you would be able to if it didn't have a massive case of where the fuck do I go syndrome. After the short stealth section, the entire campaign happens in this facility, which is awful because it's the worst part of the base game. Every hallway looks the same. It's really easy to get turned around, and there's at least 5 floors of this identical layout. Figuring out what you're supposed to do and where you're supposed to go is going to be a challenge. A challenge that starts immediately when you burst out of this predator's chest, which could be interesting. I mean, maybe you'd be able to see the different biology of a predator from the inside. But no, it's just retextured from the Alien vs. Predator 2 campaign. I don't know, the shock value is kind of lost on the second time around. We've already seen this. But the moment I bursted out of this predator's chest, I had a question. Secluded spot with ample food supply. Let's see, where go?
I mean, this would be food supply. Why doesn't it just eat the thing that it bursted out of? Wait a minute.
I mean, your goal here is to find food so you can turn into an actual Predalien. Now, in the base campaign, this was covered up by the fact that you had things actively trying to kill you, so you had to run immediately. That's not really the case here. You had all that food right there, just go for that. Oh well, I guess that would have been a lot less interesting gameplay-wise, so sneak through the facility until you find some food. Well, eventually you go into the morgue and find people that have had chest bursters. What was the point of walking across the entire facility then? Food was right there! Again, padding more time, but now you're the Predalien. And this is where it gets really shitty. Immediately I found this vent that says, warning, electricity. So I did what any reasonable person would do. Yeah, I know, the dragon that controls electricity likes electricity. What do you want from me? Either way, the obvious conclusion is that I can't go that way. So I found another vent and went through that. After a trek through this entire floor, I have no idea where to go. There doesn't seem to be any path forward, so I look up a walkthrough and find this vent hidden in complete darkness.
Yeah, I already went up here. There was nothing up here, unless I missed something. Is that actually what you're supposed to do? That hurt you, right? No? Okay, well, how the hell am I supposed to see that in a dark vent?
It has the warning electrical on it, but this guy hit it out of the way, so I should be able to walk through there, right?
Okay, I guess I have to turn off the electricity, but where? When did he do that?
Okay, now what? How do I turn this off? After looking more through this walkthrough, I figured out you can turn the electricity off by the original vent that killed me at the beginning of the level. Why let me progress if I need to turn that off to progress? This game does shit like this all the time. It's infuriating. Here's another example. After wandering around lost forever, I looked up a walkthrough and found out that I'm supposed to go into this vent here. I'm supposed to break this in the dark ceiling. I can't even see that. How would I know? Oh, and this kind of horrible signposting extends to the combat, don't you worry. Like how turrets are basically invisible until they're already shooting at you. There's no way I would see these. What makes it even worse is that hitboxes are so wonky that they just don't hit where you're supposed to be swiping at. As if those two turrets weren't enough, there's two synths right around the corner, and those things shred you up. Remember when I said the Predalien gets more health? Well, he does, but they throw more synths at you to make up for that, and they can shred your health instantly. And having more health makes it more difficult to refill your health. Basically, you're squishier than the base alien. And that's despite having more health and being stronger. Yeah, this shit sucks. Synths are, ironically, way more difficult to fight than mechs. Yeah, the mechs are kind of a non-issue. You can just jump in and swipe at them a few times and they die. Why are these things so easy to fight? Yeah, synths will kill you instantly. What is this nonsense? And then after that, they throw you into another vent where there is a hidden vent in that vent that you're not going to notice, and I noticed that when I looked up a walkthrough. I hate this game. After you suffer through all of this, you break free, and this event happening is what forced corporate to go investigate. And then it ends abruptly. This is incredibly short, and well, it just sucks. I have no idea how they managed to take the concept of something as awesome as playing as a Predalien and turning it into something as bad as this. If I had to sum up this expansion pack, it would be that the corporate campaign is actually pretty good until the end, where that last holdout section sucks. But it's fun. If you're playing this expansion for no reason other than to shoot Xenos, then you'll probably enjoy this one and you can ignore the other ones. The Predator campaign, while being less annoying and I think slightly better than the Predator campaign of the base game, it doesn't say a whole lot to be better than garbage. The Predalien campaign, though, is genuinely one of the worst things I've ever played on this channel. Don't waste your time. I play bad games, so you don't have to. I also get rewarded by my YouTube members who enjoy watching me suffer. They get to see my videos at least 1 week early. If you want to join them, it's pretty cheap, right down by the subscription button. If you want to support me in other ways, then you can just watch this playlist here, which has videos just like this one. Check out the recommended content over there, or subscribe by clicking on this thing right here. Thank all of you guys for watching and supporting this channel. I will see you next Friday.